and this is episode 92 of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. I'm B Money, the producer. That over there is Weekend Trav. They're down in Florida in the boxing gym on the second floor in the podcast room because this is the number one bourbon, beards, and boxing podcast shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym, now specifically on the second floor of said boxing gym in the podcast room, shot on a Sunday or Monday. Today is actually Tuesday, dropping on
Wednesday morning, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
In the world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us and for our subscriber base that continues to follow along with our content. We definitely do appreciate you and the banter that we get back and forth and just communicating with other boxing fans and people that maybe agree with us, disagree with us. But please do like the content below, subscribe to our pages, whether you're on YouTube or Rumble, whether you're following us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, iTunes, however they do their podcast with Apple. It's all over the place, Weekend Trav. We are on the audio side. We're on the video side. You know, you're there in Orlando. Weekend Trav, I thought we were supposed to have an event here at Madison Square Garden. What am I doing?
I know, weighing in with Travis Hartman sent one of our correspondents, B Money, to Madison Square Garden in New York because he was supposed to cover the Jake Paul versus Hasim Rahman Jr. fight. But as you all know, the fight didn't happen.
Can you believe they didn't honor my press pass when I tried to show up on Saturday? What's up with that? That?
Quite frankly, New York stiffed weighing in with Travis Hartman.
Yeah, unique New York. So Weekend Trav, here we are, episode 92. Thankfully for boxing fans alike, there was at least another event going on this past Saturday. Maybe you give us a quick rundown of what you saw in the mix here, and then we'll go through some boxing calendar items coming up over the next couple of weekends. But Weekend Trav, there was a big matchup that we briefly spoke about last week on episode 91. You can see that in the catalog below, but we're in episode 92, and we're still going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Vergil Ortiz.
Welterweight, 18-0, 18 knockouts going into this fight. After this fight, he extended his record to 19-0 with 19 knockouts. He did that against a really tough guy, though, McKinnison, who was 22-0, I believe, never been stopped, never lost as a pro, and got stopped in the 9th round. And to be fair, it was McKinnison fought really well. He's a tough guy. And he came up short that night. He's still a very, very tough competitor, and he's beat some tough guys to get to where he's at. I thought he was going to be able to possibly last with Vergil, but Vergil turned it on in that 8th and 9th round, ended up putting McKinnison down and ended up getting the stoppage. And listen, Vergil Ortiz, I don't think he's the next coming of the welterweight division, but I do think he's one of the next top contenders at this point. I think he's young still. He's 19-0 with 19 KOs. The guy's very, very good. I just think that his style, he can be outboxed. So I think those guys in that division, like a Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence at 147, they would beat him right now. And I firmly believe that. And that's not a knock on Vergil Ortiz at all, because the guy's young in his career still. These are very established veterans, pound for pound greats at this point. So he did what he was supposed to do. He got the win. He got the stoppage. B Money. He's 19-0 with 19 knockouts. So you can't sneeze at that. There's nothing to sneeze about that.
No, and this was a true test, taking him to 9 rounds. Was this a 10 or a 12 round? I think
this was a 12 rounder, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was scheduled for 12. Yes.
Yeah. So usually
it was scheduled for 12.
Usually when you hear knockout artists and you see these many knockouts, it's usually somewhat like within the first 6, but to go 9, I mean, he had a prime candidate there against him. And I think if I saw correctly, he did drop him. He dropped him in the 9th round, and then it came after him again. And I think it looked like his corner man jumped up and was waving a towel. If I saw that correctly.
He dropped him in the 8th round, and then he finished him off in the 9th round. And I think his corner stopped it as well. So it was either that's going to happen to the referee or, it was going to eventually get stopped regardless. But the guy was still had his wits together, but I think it was the correct stoppage. I know it was the correct stoppage. The fight was well managed by the referees, by the judges, by the commission. Thankfully, we have a lot of iffies sometimes. A couple weekends ago, we had Rancis Bartholomew, who had a horrific stoppage by the referee. Yeah. It was horrific. So that was very good to see a properly officiated a properly ran professional boxing match. Virgil Ortiz wins on DAZN Boxing with Golden Boy. Oscar De La Hoya was in the ring. So Virgil Ortiz is getting brought along very good. He's undefeated, 19-0, 19 knockouts. He's not like your typical hyped up guy that is at 19-0 with 19 knockouts. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to give him that credit. He's 19-0 with 19 KOs. He's the real deal. He's not fluff. He's not a Berlanga, like I've talked about. He's not a Berlanga at all.
The jury's out still on him.
No, I think the juries came back. And it's not there. It's a fact. The juries came back with a unanimous decision, and they say Berlanga's not the next coming of the super middleweight division.
Well, there is another gentleman that we're going to talk about here in a minute.
There you go.
That might be, I don't want to say the next coming, but definitely the next big thing. And we're going to pay attention to him because this coming weekend, coming to us from Las Vegas on ESPN and ESPN Plus, and we're not talking about this gentleman, but we're saying Teofimo Lopez is taking on Pedro Campa in a 10-round junior welterweight matchup there. That's the main event, but that's not who we're talking about. We'll get to the other guy in a second.
Exactly.
But this is Teofimo Lopez coming back, trying to bounce back after his loss, losing all those beautiful belts to one what's his face down there in Australia, right?
Kambosos.
There you go. I almost forgot his name because he promptly lost all those belts. So it's one of those things, and Devin Haney's now holding all the shiny hardware. So Teofimo Lopez, minus 2,500 favorite over Pedro Campa here coming up in Las Vegas on Saturday weekend, Trav. Just thoughts in general, I should say. I think we were both on the same page. Lopez should easily win this thing, but any just general thoughts about him coming back?
Well, I think that he is going to win, but I think an important note to make is that he claims, and I've watched an interview of him, that he's leaving the 135-pound division and he's not coming back. He is going to campaign at 140 now, which does shake it up a little bit because we have a big packed division at 130, 135, and 140, and now it looks like the Teofimo is going to campaign solely at 140.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, and you mentioned a name earlier, a few minutes ago. You mentioned Oscar De La Hoya with Golden Boy, and this is breaking news as of today. Elias Espadas is reporting that
Elias Espadas reporting
exactly. It looks like gosh, I always get that wrong. That King Ryan Garcia might be moving on from trying to battle with Tank Davis. Shocker. It's just a lot of hype with that guy, as they're saying that Davis camp is not responding to phone calls or voicemails and blah, blah, blah. And Oscar De La Hoya is going to be ringside here at this fight this weekend. Teofimo Lopez taking on Pedro Campa. What are your thoughts?
Ooh, wait. So am I giving thoughts on Teofimo and his fight this weekend, or Teofimo and a possibility with King Ryan?
Bingo.
Okay,
that's the setup. That's the setup, folks, and that's reporting. We're going to give Elias Espadas all the love on that, as Oscar De La Hoya tells him he will be at this fight this weekend because they might have their sights set on Teofimo Lopez.
I love that, B Money, because B Money knows his stuff. I actually did not even know that happened. So I love when you throw me these messages and these things when it's not even out yet. So you're getting the true straight from the hip, straight from weekend Travs, no thought process, no like had to research this. I'm giving to you straight. I think that's a very interesting fight.
I'm in the Big Apple weekend, Trav. I'm getting the big news headlines. I'm not breaking it because Elias Espadas, once again, he's the one that reported, he's the one that broke it, but I am feeding that news headline to people now on Wednesday, even though today's Tuesday.
Listen to Weighing In with Travis Harden. We're always breaking news. That was awesome. That's a great news. So I do want to make sure that I don't disrespect Teofimo Lopez's current opponent, Campa, who he is fighting this weekend. He should win this fight. This is a setup fight for him to win because Teofimo's trying to campaign back and make a little comeback here because he had a rough go at it with Kambosos.
Yep.
Teofimo's claiming that he had a bunch going on. He was sick. He had bronchitis. He had all this other stuff. I don't know what to believe, B Money, but I do know that Teofimo Lopez can fight. It was his first loss ever in his career. So it does throw guys for a loop sometimes mentally when you lose your very first fight, when you're so dominant. And at 15-0 or 14-0, you beat Lomachenko, who everybody thought was the pound for pound, like top 3. Yeah. So listen, I thought Teofimo did beat Lomachenko. He won that fight fair and square. However, it comes out that maybe Lomachenko was hurt as well. So my point is, I think Teofimo is rebuilding his confidence, and they're not going to put somebody in front of him in his first fight back that he's going to struggle with or look bad against. He's supposed to look good, and I think that he's back on track. I think his confidence is getting there because I've seen a couple of his interviews. I think he's coming down from being on that incredible high where he had like all the titles against Lomachenko.
King of the Mountain.
So I'm going to give him that credit, but he should beat Campo very easily this weekend. Then we can talk about the King Ryan Garcia. Hey, B-Money, I'm going to give Ryan Garcia some credit here, though. If he's moving on from Tank Davis, which who cares right at this point, because that's been talked about so much and nobody's doing anything. But I think that's the ego of Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya that's getting in the way of that, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
So if that fight's not going to happen, holy crap. Teofimo Lopez and King Ryan Garcia, I think is even better fight than Tank Davis.
It's interesting. That'll definitely put butts in the seats, and people will be paying for that pay-per-view. So stay tuned on that, ladies and gentlemen. But what I want to talk about weekend, Trev, is on the same card this Saturday, Las Vegas, ESPN, ESPN Plus. Xander Zayas taking on Elias Espadas, an 8-round junior middleweight matchup where Xander Zayas, who we've talked about several times on the show, and we think is the next big thing. Pay attention to some names we talk about. This is one of them. Xander Zayas, a minus 5,000 favorite in this matchup against Elias Espadas, 8 rounds, Saturday. Weekend Trav. What are we thinking? What are we looking at on this one?
Yes. So I think Xander Zayas is definitely the next coming out of Puerto Rico. And I think that's important to mention because, to be fair, Puerto Rico, that it's a small island, but they've produced a lot of the greats in the history in the past. Yep. And I think the last great that you can speak about would be Miguel Cotto. And right now we haven't, and I think Miguel Cotto has been retired for 8+ years now. So the next big thing out of Puerto Rico, everybody tried to think it was Berlanga. I said it on the show. I was confident about it. I don't think he is. However, I did mention, and I know B Money also mentioned Xander Zayas, but I think that, yes, put your stock behind Xander Zayas for the next possible big thing out of Puerto Rico.
He is a gym maniac, and he has the skill to back it up in the ring, folks. Take a look at his film. Go on YouTube. Go on wherever your video source is. Find footage of this guy. If you haven't seen him fight, he's exciting, he's young, he's entertaining, he's got a lot of positive momentum. He's just a good looking dude, good strapping young gentleman out of Puerto Rico.
He's got a tough fight, actually.
It's a tough fight, but I'm going to go with Vegas on this one. I'm thinking they kind of know some stuff about this, and he's a heavy favorite on this one. But to your credit and to your research skills, Espadas is no slouch. He has a solid record himself. What is he? You said
22-4.
Yeah, 22.
Never been stopped. Fought some top guys.
Now right now it looks like the props have Zayas as a minus 250 favorite on the knockout, TKO or DQ. So take that for what it's worth. So this guy's never been stopped, but.
And it's only an 8-rounder as well, by the way. We should mention that.
But odds makers are looking like they want Xander Zayas to have that kind of big victory. But pay attention, folks. That's a big fight. That's a big matchup. That's a big up-and-coming name. We want you to pay attention to some of these new names coming out of the woodwork. We talk a lot about guys from Central Florida as well, but there are other names such as Xander Zayas that you do need to circle on your ledger, pay attention to down the road.
Yeah, he's got a nice little they're putting him in. This is the good thing about a good promoter. Here's what good promoters do. They put you in positions to be great.
Yeah.
Okay, Xander Zayas, yes, is supposed to win this fight. However, they're putting him in this position to win this fight. If he can win this fight explosively and possibly stop this guy, it would be the first time this guy's been stopped in about 26 or 27 professional fights, only 4 losses, and it's only an 8-rounder. So if he stops this guy, that's very impressive because when you start fighting 10 and 12 rounders, you happen to get stoppages because guys know that they have to go 10 or 12 rounds to hang with you. An 8-rounder, this guy's been in the ring quite a bit, and he's been 10 rounds a couple of times, it looks like. So if Xander can stop him within 8 rounds, in my opinion, if Xander can stop him within 8 rounds, that's huge. That's putting him on the map a little bit. If somehow he could possibly get some kind of a highlight reel or any kind of stoppage, I think that puts him on the map and on the radar even more so than just weighing in with Travis Hartman. I think he'll be on the map because he's 13-0 for sure, but this is his toughest, stiffest fight to date. A guy who's never been stopped. If he can stop this guy, boom, that's big.
Big time, big time. So pay attention to that, folks. If you're not watching this yourself, I'm sure the production team from Wayne and Travis Hartman and our social media accounts will be opting to put some footage out there, especially on the Instagram profile. So take a look at those reels and whatnot. So I think on Saturday night, there's probably going to be a little bit of footage, at least coverage of some of these fights here. Teofimo Lopez taking on Pedro Campa. XANDER ZAYAS taking on
ESPN Plus, Top Rank promoted as well. So if you want to follow that, that's where you follow it. ESPN Plus Top Rank. But also, you're right. I try to on Friday nights, I try to post something to let people know the upcoming fights that weekend. And I also try to make sure we post on our Instagram page, weighing in with Travis Hartman, on what channel and what network those fights are on. So you guys can follow some good fights. We always try to give a tip for the weekend on what fights to watch. So follow our Instagram page as well, and we'll give you some information there.
Yeah, because our production team, they don't have a life. So that's all they do on the weekends.
Our life is boxing.
Yeah. So that is this weekend. Teofimo Lopez, Pedro Campa, and XANDER ZAYAS taking on Elias Espadas. That's on ESPN, ESPN Plus, coming to you from Las Vegas, August 13th. We want to put a little bit of attention weekend, Trav, on August. I said April. I meant August 13th. August 20th, we have Usyk Joshua for a lot of heavyweight gold. Anthony Joshua, that's a 12-rounder, Saudi Arabia, on DAZN. There's a lot of fights on that card, actually, weekend, Trav. I don't know if you took a look at the rundown.
Is there really?
Yeah, I think I saw Callum Smith on there. I think I saw Ali's grandson. Wow. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. So
Nico Ali, too. That's impressive because I haven't seen that kid for a little bit. So that's good to get him back in that ring.
But we're not going to touch too much on that fight this weekend, but on episode 93 next week, that'll probably be our main topic of discussion here is this heavyweight bout. I'll tell you what, weekend, Trav, if you're following any of the footage leading up to this thing, Usyk is looking pretty good. He's looking like a solid heavyweight now. He's not looking like just a guy that gained some poundage to get in this fight. He's looking pretty studly, training his butt off, looking good, looking sharp in the ring.
Yeah, and I just as of note, I just hope that he's not changing up what he did from the first fight to this fight because he won. So I get it. You don't always want to be comfortable and you always do want to keep progressing. But also, I hope they don't try to change him up too much because I think the fact that he came in light and he came in fast and quick and was able to go 12 rounds, but be really fast and fit and his stamina was really good. Yeah. I think that benefited him. And I think that's why he beat Anthony Joshua. And in my opinion, if he wants to beat him again, he's going to have to fight a similar fight, be fast, punch from angles, punch in bunches, and get away from the bigger Joshua. But B Money, looking at videos, he's looking thicker, bulkier, and I hope that he's not going out there trying to bulk up and knock out Anthony Joshua. However, Anthony Joshua can be stopped. Andy Ruiz stopped Anthony Joshua. So it's not out of this question that maybe the Usyk camp felt something in the first fight and they're like, hey, maybe put on a little bit more muscle, a little bit more power, and we can only not beat him, but we could stop him, that could be their mindset. We don't know.
And AJ's camp been uncharacteristically quiet leading up to this. Haven't seen a lot really coming from his camp and his training regiment. Nothing too much on our side. I mean, we're across the pond, so we don't get a ton of that information, but it's not been very highly publicized weekend, Trav. This is almost the heavyweight title fight that could. And what I mean by that is there's just not a lot behind it. I mean, we're a week and a half out from this thing, and it's for 3 belts.
Yeah, no, I think in the major scene, though, a lot of people are, I think the reason why you're not seeing like an overflow of promotion is because they don't need to promote it. It's a big fight. People are going to tune in regardless. So I think that's why they're not really pushing it, which I'm okay with because all of us, every podcast, every ESPN network, every major network, DAZN Boxing, all those people, Showtime, they know this fight's happening. So I think that's probably what's going on. And it's fair because this fight has a lot of implications, B Money. Because if Anthony Joshua wins, we just heard, by the way, there's some breaking news that Tyson Fury is coming out of retirement and is going to fight Derek Chisora, which is probably a tune-up fight for the winner of Anthony Joshua Usyk. I think Tyson Fury wants Anthony Joshua to win because that would be an all England fight.
I think
and the
so.
heavyweight title and the heavyweight strap would stay in England. However, let's be honest, all of us, this is unarguably a fact. Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world.
Yeah.
Retired or not,
yeah,
he's the best heavyweight in the world. And technically, I don't think his retirement papers were ever filed. So technically, I think he's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's still the Ring Magazine #1. He's my #1. He's up there in the pound for pound conversation as well. But I think that Tyson Fury, 100%, you even said it too, he wasn't retired. That guy's not retired.
I like to think of it that he's on sabbatical. He's not in retirement mode. He's just on a sabbatical, taking an extended vacation, clearing his mind, and he's going to be back. Once he's going to be watching this bout. He's going to get the itch. I don't think it's going to matter who wins. He's going to want whoever wins, no matter what. And because that payday is going to be beautiful, we want Tyson Fury. He's the best promo man in the game. He's the best marketing guy in the game. We want him. So that's going to happen.
And it turns out he can fight too.
And he could fight pretty darn good as well. #1 in the ring, whatever magazine, and #1 in Weekend Trav's heart. Maybe not #1. I think we have someone else that is #1 that we are trying, and I'm not going to drop the name, but we're trying to secure some interview time with. I think we're dangerously close.
You know what? No, I'm going to drop it because I'm going to put it out there because I'm going to put a little pressure too. But I got a confirmation last week when we recorded episode 91. I was texting back and forth with my boy, Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford agreed to come on weighing in with Travis Hartman and do a little interview. So this guy's the top pound for pound king in the world on a lot of people's new updated rankings. ESPN's one of them. Terrence Crawford's back in the #1 spot. So weighing in with Travis Hartman, we're not just some little small podcast. We're getting the big dogs, Terrence Crawford. We will have that interview. We will have that episode in the coming weeks. For sure, we will post that. We just don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but we know that it's going to happen and it's coming for absolute sure. We will have Terrence Crawford on this show. I'm telling you, I'm making the promise. I know Terrence Crawford's a good dude. He's a man of his word. He said he'll do it. I believe him.
And who knows? You never know if we'll have breaking news when he's on. I mean, we've been talking about some stuff trying to establish in November. You never know. So
he's a free agent now too. He speaks a lot for himself now. So maybe Weekend Trav can get some stuff out of him.
Now, Weekend Trav, what I want you to do right now is I need you to go on online, go on Southwest or wherever and figure out how to get me home from New York.
I know. What's up with our production team here? Where's our production team? Why have they not taken care of you?
You know,
I'm going to make some calls. Be money.
I appreciate that. So I hate that. Listen, we got to tie this thing up because I can't stand on this corner anymore. I can't do it. Can't do it. Okay. I can't see anything.
I'm just going to say that I think what needs to happen is that you're in New York. You're kind of pretty. You got you got that long flowing hair. You got that nice beard. Yeah. I think what you could do is you could probably make some money.
Stop it.
And get us back home.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay.
But you know what? I don't think we should wrap it up completely yet because we talked about August 20th, which is a Saturday. It's the next big fight, and it's a huge fight. But we also have that Sunday, August 21st. We have some local fights that are happening as well. We also have some fights that are happening this coming weekend too at Orlando Live.
That's right. So some local fighters. Let's plug that real quick before we sign off here. August 13th. That's also the same day as the Teofimo Lopez matchup there in Vegas. But here in Orlando, or where you are in Orlando, at the Plaza Live Orlando, Undisputed Promotions putting on bragging rights. Several fights, local guys on this card here, August 13th. Once again, the Plaza Live Orlando. I know friends of ours, Corey Marksman, he is taking on, I don't know if this is still the same, but I know before it was Angel Albello.
Yep.
Okay. So Corey Marksman, I believe he's on there. There's a few others. Is Diesel also on this card? I think I saw that float, or maybe he's on the 21st.
No, I think he's on the 21st.
Okay,
I think he's on the 21st because he's with the Box Lab Promotions and Box Lab Management. So I think he's there.
So August 13th at Plaza Live Orlando.
Undisputed Promotions August 13th. Yep.
Yep. If you're looking for tickets, reach out to us. We'll connect you with probably Corey Marksman's team. looking to hook them up. Because remember, local shows, fighters get paid when they're able to sell some of these tickets. So we want to make sure we're breaking open that curtain so you guys can see it. Local shows, you need to help these guys get the ticket sales, get the tickets through the fighters, okay, wherever you're coming from. Anything else on August 13th?
I believe there's a link on CoreyMarksman.com. It's
okay.
CoreyMarksman.com, and you can find tickets there and buy tickets there. So check out his website. Give him a little love. Buy some tickets. Go see him fight. I know that me and B Money are trying our best to make our schedule work, but we're not guaranteeing it. We're trying our best. We've always said we'll try our best for the Orlando place, our local boxing in Orlando. We have got our tickets for August 21st from Box Lab Promotion fight card with Adrian Pinheiro and oh my gosh, Giovanni Estella as well. And I know that's going to be on Bally Sports TV. That's August 21st, which is a Sunday. We have got our tickets for that. We're doing our best to go to the Orlando Live. We've just never been there, and we're having a difficult time finding positive and good seats because weighing in with Travis Hartman, we can't just go and get average seats, B Money. You know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The promotion company, Carib Royale, and that scene, we know that scene. So we know what tickets we like. We know what tickets are the best there. We're trying to figure it out still. So we'll see. We're not making any promises because when we say we're going, we go. We haven't said that yet. We're trying.
We're working on it. And so that's August 13th. We mentioned August 21st. We'll talk a little bit more about this next week. August 21st at the Carib Royale in Orlando, Box Lab Promotions and Bally Sports putting on their show. I don't have the title of the show in front of me, but that is August 21st. That's a Sunday. And you had mentioned a couple of names on there, Giovanni Estella, hopefully Adrian Pinheiro. I know we're looking for a cruiserweight to try to seal up the deal for him on that card. Several others. I don't remember who's main eventing that one. But once again, good local shows, folks, if you're in the Orlando or Central Florida area to pay attention to. If you want tickets, if you need tickets for either of these shows, once again, August 13th, go to CoreyMarksman.com. You can find tickets through links on his website. August 21st, we can put you in contact with probably Giovanni Estella's camp or Adrian Pinheiro. For us, we're equal opportunity servants here. So, so whoever has the love, whoever has the tickets.
You can go to Ticketmaster to find those fights that are at Crib Royale. They're on Ticketmaster. And what you do is you type in the code of one of the fighters, either Adrian, Giovanni Estella, or any of the other fighters fighting on that card, and they will get credit for that. So it's all on Ticketmaster for those fights as well. And you can find them August 21st, Orlando, Florida, Carib Royale, Bally Sports. Let's go.
Let's go. So with that, and this is the end, right? This is the end. I hope to be.
Yes, sir, producer.
Okay, I hope to be in town soon. Episode 92 in the books, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off right there. That over there in Florida is Weekend Trav.
That there is B Money, aka producer, aka I hope we can get him from New York. That way we can go to the fights this Saturday in Orlando. Let's go.
Let's go. That's a different podcast. That's not ours. That's Tom Brady's. Anyways, God bless everybody. Thanks for joining us. Please subscribe below.